there's lots to talk about today, buddy, but we're going to have to keep it to a few things. Hey, Janet Yellen sent the market this morning for a ride, didn't she? Hey, she suggested interest rates are going to rise. Okay, so tech stocks, especially tech stocks with high price to earnings ratios, saw a move to the downside, and that's what we expect. But then she kind of retracted on what she said, and the market recovered. But the reality is that's a little sneak peek as to how the market will react once interest rates do rise, and they have to rise. Okay, especially as we expect the labor market to get back to full employment, by 2022. I mean, of course, interest rates are going to rise. Everybody is continuously just printing money, the US especially, hey?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen a move to the downside. I mean, despite earnings on Apple, Tesla, just tech stocks, us and the team are possibly looking for quick in, quick outs, but no investments as of yet on those because we've seen that initial move to the downside. So we're just holding off at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, it's important to understand too that we also have this Friday the labor market reports. Okay, the reports are going to continuously get better, not just for the United States, but for the rest of the world. Okay, and the money needs to come back in one way or another. Interest rates are going to rise. You have to be prepared for that. Okay, especially companies, again, as mentioned, with high price to earnings ratios will be affected. Okay, another thing too. We have Sotheby's, hey Jake, accepting now Bitcoin and Ethereum. They don't want to miss out on that NFT boat as Christie sold that 69.9 million NFT, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody just seems to be jumping on the crypto PayPal, and now those. It's not going to be long. It seems like nearly every single day we see news that another big company has jumped on the bandwagon. So it just seems as though everyone's kind of looking into crypto, and yeah, there's just bullish news about crypto, to be honest. So very, very bullish on crypto.
Yeah. One sec. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that, buddy. Very bullish on crypto right now. The market is definitely starting to adapt to it. It's a lot of FOMO, right? People, and not only people, institutions have a fear of missing out. I mean, exactly. Sotheby's is a perfect example. Christie sold that NFT for 69.9 million. That's a great commission for Christie's. Sotheby's cannot be missing out on that. They have to adapt. They have to grow. And that's exactly what they're doing. Now, as mentioned in summary, before we take it to the charts here, Bitcoin, all right. As we know, Bitcoin, a lot of the market thinks that Bitcoin is the gold of crypto. I don't necessarily think that that's the case. I think that crypto and the whole thing about crypto and blockchain is technology, and technology adapts. Okay, Bitcoin, as an analyst for ARK Invest said, is a rock, and Ethereum is a computer, and that's totally true. Okay, Ethereum, we have DeFi protocols being developed on that blockchain. All right, we have smart contracts on that blockchain. All right, we have developers building on the Ethereum blockchain as they're not on Bitcoin. As the market becomes more knowledgeable, as the demand, of course, let's not forget NFTs also on blockchain. Okay, as the demand grows, all right, we're going to see more of liquidation from Bitcoin. We're going to see Ethereum's market cap rise as more volume starts to come in there. All right. And we may see the same for Doge. Okay. We're seeing a massive spike. We're going to see the same for all the altcoins, or not necessarily all the altcoins. The ones I'm very bullish on are like ADA. All right. Some DeFi coins as well. We're very bullish on. We're going to now take it to the charts here, take it right into it. Okay. First pair we're going to talk about here is Dogecoin. All right. Now, as mentioned, Doge, what is the function of Doge? It is absolutely nothing. This coin does absolutely nothing, but that's what the beauty of it is. It's pure. Okay. It's more of like an FU to the financial system. People are fed up with it. All right. And the reality is it's not much different than Bitcoin if we really think about it. I mean, we have developers building on the Bitcoin platform, but the reality is that's not necessarily going to continue. Bitcoin has no plans of changing, developing, and it may become the floppy disk of crypto. And do we still use floppy disks? No, we don't. So if we don't use floppy disks and Doge also has zero value, then what's the difference? Now, I'm not saying that Doge is going to get anywhere near Bitcoin. I'm not saying Doge is a safe investment like Bitcoin is, the market accepts Bitcoin overall. The market has not accepted Doge, but I'm just saying that the argument that Doge does nothing is no longer an argument anymore. Okay, the market sees value in this. All right, so what do we see here? We see, well, one direction, move to the upside. So do we want to be entered to the downside? Absolutely not. You don't want to be the seller swimming against the current, okay, not swimming with it. Weekly time frame, strong moves to the upside. Not much to do here on the higher time frames, right? Because there's not much history. So we're going to start to take it down. All right, again, just identifying direction. This is the trend. Where do we want to swim with the trend? Okay, so we're only looking for entries to the upside onto the 4H time frame. All right, onto the 4H time frame, we're starting to see that Bitcoin, or sorry, Dogecoin is starting to see some steam. Okay, we're starting to see strong volume to the upside, more than there was historically. Okay, there's bigger pushes and exhaustions coming out in terms of ranges. All right, so we're now going to take it to the 1 hour time frame, and what we're going to start to do is identify all area of sensitivity. Remember, we're looking for horizontal area of buy and sell pressure. Okay, so every time we see horizontal area of buy or sell pressure, we are going to add area of sensitivity. Boom. Okay, so what do we see here? We see that every time price makes a new range, there's buy pressure keeping price from coming back for a full complete exhaustion. So we have push, range, push, range. What's going to happen next? That's right, a continuational push. So when we take a look here on the 1 hour time frame in terms of price action, this makes sense, right? Price made a strong push to the upside. What's after a push, team? We know exhaustion. Here we have an exhaustion. What's the important information? We have plenty of pin bars. What's that telling us? That buy pressure is protecting the downside. Every time sell pressure is trying to come back for a full complete exhaustion, buy pressure is saying, no, we want to move to the upside. Okay, so that's telling us what we expect. That's telling us that buyers are entering the market. Okay, we can also see here a lower low. So what do we believe is going to happen? All right. Well, if you want to place an entry right now, team, go ahead with the buy limit order. Okay, we're going to make our way to previous high before an exhaustion. So what will happen is this. Price will continue to follow its lower lows. We're going to get a squeeze, right? This is a wedge. Buy pressure protecting the downside, sell pressure continuing lower lows. Then we're going to see a break to the upside. This will be a strong break to previous high, exhaustion, and then a continuational move to our next range. So if you want to enter now, to previous high, no issue. If you want to be patient, push a previous high. We will see some minor sell-off for exhaustion before then a continuational move. So that's it for Doge. We are now going to move on to Peloton, who has their earnings, okay, coming up here. And I want to talk about Peloton. Now, Peloton, of course, we know was the gem of COVID, okay? Peloton, Teladoc, okay? These companies were the gems. Now, it's important to understand that, yes, Peloton is a great company. Yes, Peloton will continue to see great sales, but we are going to see that Peloton is not necessarily the most attractive stock for reopening. Okay, we have a whole reopening. The world is reopening here. So Peloton's not going to be the most attractive stock. Peloton is overpriced. We know that. Okay, so it has a high PDE ratio, which means that as inflation rises, we're going to see a move to the downside. Now, what are we looking for here? Okay, we're looking for area of sensitivity, which we've identified. It'll be easier to do so on the weekly time frame. Okay, so here we see sell pressure. Here we see buy pressure on a horizontal level. Now we see sellers breaking buy pressure to the downside, heading into earnings. And if it does, it will find new range to where previous low, next area of sensitivity. So what are we waiting for here on Peloton? Well, to be honest with you, we're waiting for earnings. Okay, if earnings blow expectations, and they have to blow expectations, not just meet expectations. Okay, if they blow expectations, we'll see a stop hunt back to the upside to previous high. All right, if not, we're going to see price make its move to its next level of buy sensitivity, where then we're going to wait for double confirmation to our mid-range for a move to the upside. But Peloton, I'm not necessarily looking for a short on this pair. I'm looking for a nice entry to the upside. I do believe that the Peloton market will continue to grow. Okay, certain things, certain events in the world change the way we live. 9/11 changed the way we go through the airport. Okay, COVID is going to change the way we work out. Okay, among one of the things amongst many of the things is the way we work out. Okay, people are going to choose to stay at home. People invested a lot of money in equipment during COVID. Okay, and also the relationship between people, and the way people think of germs and sweat and all that stuff has changed. Okay, people like their privacy, especially when they're working out. All right, so that's it for Peloton. All right, our next analysis here is going to be on USD yen, taking it to FX. Okay, when we take it to the gentleman markets community and fundamental direction channel, all right, what can we see here? We can see that the USD is currently at a negative 1.1, the yen is at a negative 4.7. All right, so when we take it to the charts, what we have to identify again is fundamental direction. And we know it's to the upside. Why? Because the USD is currently at a negative 1.1 and the yen is currently at a negative 4.7. So the USD, although weak, it's not as weak as the yen, thus short-term direction to the upside, midterm and long-term. And why is midterm and long-term to the upside? Short-term we know because that's right now. Midterm and long-term is to the upside because it's paired against the yen. Okay, the yen is a safe haven status. As the world's economies start to open, the yen will be pinned to the downside. It will struggle to find buy pressure. All right, so we know we're only looking for entries to the upside. Monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly mid-range, daily upper, daily lower. Okay, just area of battle between buy pressure and sell pressure. What do we see here? First off, we have lower lows, which we can identify, higher time frame downtrend. Okay, we can see price broke that downtrend to the upside as expected. Strong push to the upside. So here we have what? Buy sensitivity from our monthly zone. This is the USD starting to gain strength against the yen. This is buy pressure due to optimism and vaccine rollouts. Okay, so we have buyers breaking sell pressure at our daily lower, daily upper, higher time frame downtrend. Not much of a problem. Strong push. What's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside. And it makes sense that this push would complete at our weekly zone, right? Because this is where we have sell pressure. Take profits will be hit as sells will be taken. Okay, limit orders, stop orders. All right, this is sensitivity to a market, to an area of significance. Push, exhaustion. What's next? Continuational push. And we can see a pin bar here showing us buy sensitivity off our daily upper. What was resistance is now acting as support. Okay, so again, push, exhaustion, bullish engulfing candle, reinjection of buy pressure, support. All right, let's now take it to the daily time frame. All right, as we can see, we have to identify all lower time frame area sensitivity. Here we have mid-range. Okay, and as you can see, here's our upper level, which is identified by our weekly, and also our lower level, which is our daily upper zone. So we don't need to leave those on the charts. Okay, so here's our mid-range zone. Now what's going to happen is two things. We're either going to see an impulse to the downside, we're going to see double confirmation before a move to the upside, or we're going to see price break mid-range with the push, exhaustion, continuational move. Either way, we have to wait for price to break mid-range zone. Unless it comes back for double confirmation, then we'll look for re-entry at double confirmation. But Team FXG, okay, USD yen, what are we looking for? Okay, we're looking for price, push, exhaustion. Now we're waiting for price action and entry confirmation before a move to our weekly zone. Now, this isn't a guaranteed entry. For those of you watching on YouTube, we're waiting for the Fed talk. Okay, we also require price action and entry confirmation. So that doesn't mean that you enter right away here. There are some conditions that need to be met. All right, Jakey, that's it, buddy. On to you.
Okay, thank you, David. So I'm going to run through my top crypto, top stock, and top FX for this week. So I'm going to take mine to Litecoin. So with Litecoin, we can see that price has broken this major area of sensitivity. Obviously, it's previous high here. But if we take it back, if we just drag this along, we can also see that it's the major area of sensitivity where price found sell pressure previously. Is it going to stay above? Well, we shall see. So let's take it down a time frame to the daily time frame. We can see previous highs here, which are our monthly zones, and now price has broken this previous high with a massive push to the upside. So what are we waiting for? We are waiting for exhaustion. After a push, we always have exhaustion. Think of the energy that buyers had to have in order to break this level here. This isn't just a level like we had here at this monthly zone. Again, if we take it back to the daily time frame, we can see that this is a major level. Price saw massive sell pressure here. So in order for buyers to beat sellers here, we have had to have a massive amount of buyers. So what's going to happen is we're going to see exhaustion, and then we will wait for price action and entry confirmation for a move to the upside on Litecoin. This could be an investment, or it could be a quick in, quick out, but we do need to wait for price action and entry confirmation because we do not want to set a buy limit order and then price move to the downside, hit our SL, and then move to the upside on Litecoin. So just be a little bit careful on this one. We need to wait for entry confirmation and buyers to come back in. Okay, so my top stock is PayPal. What do we see? Previous high, which is our monthly upper zone. And then we also have the other previous high, which is our monthly lower zone. And then again, in between those zones, we have our weekly upper and weekly lower zone where prices find buy and sell pressure. So now we know that, we can take it down a time frame, we can take it to the daily, we can see our uptrend, and we can also see price respecting our weekly zones. We know that earnings is coming out today, so we are going to wait for the reaction of that. What do we know? We know from Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon that even though if price absolutely smash expectations, we will see a move to the downside. So if we do see a move to the downside, breaking our uptrend, this could be a buy either at our monthly zone or when it breaks back up to the upside with a stop hunt, exhaustion, and then a quick in, quick out on PayPal. But with PayPal, what I'm looking for, team, because if we move out, we know that when PayPal breaks previous high, we have a massive move to the upside. So this might be a possibility to trail our stop loss if we get in at a good price, take profit at these levels, definitely, but keep a bit of your position and just trail your SL with PayPal. Why not try and make as many pips as you can on this stock? Because we know that when it does have a bull run, it really does move to the upside until sell pressure comes crashing in. So that's PayPal. We're going to wait for earnings and the reaction on this stock, and then we will go from there. Okay, so let's take it to my top FX, which will be the Great British Pound against the yen. So if we take it to the fundamental direction, we always go to the monthly time frame because we need to know the story of the currency. So if we take it to the fundamental direction, we can see that the Great British Pound is a positive 2.8 and the Japanese yen is a minus 4.7. The Great British Pound is the second strongest currency. Due to us rolling out vaccines very well, we are now opening up the country. And I think at the end of this week, they're going to talk about a list of countries that we can go to travel and go on holiday. So it's all good news for the Great British Pound. What do we see? We see major moves to the upside in the Great British Pound. We can now zoom in, can make it a little bit more relevant. We can see that we've broken our weekly zone to the upside, our weekly upper zone, found sell pressure, full and complete exhaustion back, and now we have a continuational move to the upside. Let's take it to the daily time frame. We can see that we've had minor consolidation between these levels because the Great British Pound had a little bit of strength, then weakness, strength, and weakness, but now it's been continuously strong. And what do we see? It's broken its 4-hour zone to the upside, which is previous high. Let's take it down a time frame again. Now that we know the full and complete story, we have had a move to the upside with price action confirmation. But what we're waiting for, we're waiting for double confirmation because we have seen stop hunts here before previously. So we do need to wait for double confirmation just to make sure that we aren't going to see another stop hunt to the downside. But again, what do we have to be careful of on the Great British Pound? Because we have the interest rate decision tomorrow. So if we take to the economic calendar, we have all this news coming out at 12 o'clock tomorrow, UK time, London time. So if we do find a trade, it looks as though we might see a trade in the next few hours or so because we've had one contact. We're now having the second contact. All we're waiting for is entry confirmation, which we might have in about an hour or so's time. But we need to be out of this trade before then, or at least our stop loss at entry. So take profit one will be at this previous high. We'll move stop loss to entry. And then if we move to the upside at the interest rate decision, then we will have a nice few pips on Great British Pound yen. But other than that, team, we're going to keep our eyes on it, and we definitely need to be careful with that announcement. So Mark has asked a question: what are fundamentals? So Mark, what fundamentals are in simplicity? If I just pull up the Gentleman Markets platform, fundamentals are numbers that we get from certain brokers and institutions that tells us the direction and the strength of each currency. So we can see that the CAD's the strongest right now at a positive 6.7, and the yen is at a minus 4.7. This is included in the Forex Gentleman community. And what fundamentals are basically just numbers that tell us how many buyers are buying and selling each currency, and that gives us our direction. And that is fundamental direction in simplicity, Mark. Thank you for the question. If you do want your questions answered, put them in the comments on YouTube, and me and David will pick out some every single Wednesday and we will go through them. But yeah, that's it for the questions.
All right, so that's it for today. As Jake mentioned, we're doing Q&A at the end of every video. If you have a question you would like answered, please leave a comment, the question in the YouTube comment box, I should say. And if you learned anything today, please press that subscribe button, please press like, and press that bell icon so you get notified whenever our videos get uploaded. Appreciate you joining us today, and we will see you the next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.